Hello, Capstone class. I am Carolyn Wood, and it is about time for me to go to bed. But I am presenting you my portfolio in the less than perfect method because my husband had a heart attack yesterday, and I have been back and forth to the hospital and trying to take care of the house and finish this portfolio. I'm going to share it with you this way because it's the only way I know to get it done before the end of the day. This portfolio was actually made over a year and a half ago, almost a year and a half ago at Yavapai College in my law class, computers in the law office, where we actually had to make our ePortfolio. So what I'm going to show you is my portfolio. It is in PowerPoint form, and I can't seem to upload it and get it all redone in Google Slides, so I'm going to show it to you this way. Hopefully you'll appreciate my efforts. So the next page is my table of contents. And it is not intended that anybody actually click on this table of contents here on this second slide, but each of these is a link to the page were you to ever want to come back and say, I want to go to that one page that she had where she did this thing. Okay, so you can always come back to my PowerPoint slide and look at it that way. But the table of contents was required in that class, so there it is. This tells you a little bit about me. I am Carolyn Wood. I proudly served in 4 components of the United States Army from 1981 to 2002. Regular, active Army, active Guard and Reserves, U.S. Army Reserves, and the North Carolina National Guard. This is a picture of a Black Hawk helicopter during Hurricane Floyd, where we were pulling people up out of the waters. And every page of my portfolio has a link back to the table of contents. The reason, of course, that this talks about my background in law is because this was a paralegal technologies degree that I was being conferred. And it talks a little bit about my very first law class being when I was 18 years old, talking about the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I'm very proud of the oath that I took to defend and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Every person who serves in the armed forces does so sworn under oath to defend it even to their death. The next slide says, let's take a commercial break. And I'm very proud of our veterans, and this particular slide has a video in it. And I think and I hope that I can get the keyboard.
Okay, Lou, we have a special story for this next
All right, let me know what it is.
entry coming up. It's the Northern Arizona Veteran Healthcare System.
Okay.
Along with them today is Army veteran Ellis Clark. Now listen to this, everybody. Army veteran Ellis Clark is on this float because of wonderful medical care conquered a deadly bacteria only 2 weeks ago. So the reason he's on this float is because they were able to put a lid on this bacteria.
Randy, these guys are from MASH.
And guess what? In the next day or two, he's going to be 83 years old.
83 years young. God bless. Give him a hand, folks. Let him know. you go. Somebody scream, come on. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about. You guys look good with MASH.
The first time I saw MASH, I knew I was going to be a soldier. Yay! No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks. But I would soon discover that the military required civilian education in order to move up in rank and to be a leader. I didn't want to be a civilian though, so Private Campbell goes to college at night, and man did that cut into my social life, and I was not a happy camper. And that was 1982. Although that mandate created a pathway to move up in rank, I sometimes got very discouraged because I could not pinpoint what I really wanted to focus on as a career. So random college courses from 1986 to 1990 were just short-term interest pursuits with no real goals in mind. I actually took my first class in college in 1982, and that was English 101. In August 1990, I enrolled in a class at the University of Maryland, Europe, called Microcomputers, and it was so unbelievably, ridiculously hard. There was no Microsoft Windows back then, all DOS and floppy drives. I wanted so badly just to type DEL ****, but I did not, and I did my best to focus, and the electronic data infrastructure of the European headquarters of the Army and Air Force Exchange Service remained intact for yet another day. Believe me, it was that easy to then wipe out the entire data and walk away. And then Iraq invaded Kuwait. I was deployed and got a D in that first class. Well, at least it was a D, but found that it was not easy to do or balance military and college. Since that time, I have adapted and overcome. Combat gave me a whole perspective on how precious life is, and it became my focus, finding purpose. I can't read what all's back there, but okay, so now for a trivia question, because I love to teach. When I came in the Army, we got C rations, and what one item in this picture was taken away, depicts the item that was taken away from us when we were given our C rations in basic training. Canned meat, B unit, canned spread, cream substitute, canned fruit, plastic spoon, chewing gum, coffee, salt, accessory pack, sugar, toilet paper, matches, cigarettes. What one item? Oh, canned fruit. Which one was taken away from us? All right, I'll click. If you answered cigarettes, you are incorrect. They took away our chewing gum. They let us smoke. They said, smoke them if you got them. I served in Missouri, Georgia, Colorado, Alaska, the Pentagon, Fort McNair, Washington, D.C., Munich, Germany, and North Carolina. To the left is a picture of me when we were deployed to Saudi Arabia in October of 1990 in support of Operation Desert Shield. I had 8 different military occupational specialties: radio teletype operator, animal care specialist, administrative specialist, licensed practical nurse, chaplain assistant, instructor at the compass and land navigation courses, recruiter, and career counselor. My favorite of all of those times was the bear tagging mission with the Bureau of Land Management in Alaska in the wilderness. That was fascinating. As far as college, I finally ended up with a pre-nursing career study certificate. I have an AAS in 911 and public safety telecommunications, and I worked at the same time in towards a BS in emergency management. I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I received my paralegal technologies degree from Yavapai College in 2020. Before I graduated, I appointed myself to the 90-30 program with NAU, and here I am. If you click here, you will see my transcripts from all of my colleges. Hopefully it'll work. Let's see, control click. It's not going to work for me, but that is a built-in link that takes you to the embedded file. Then I have my certificates, and back then I was just geared towards, of course, training in law. So this is kind of a kudos letter from a lawyer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and my Westlaw training certificate. My resume is another linkable hyperlink here, which is not going to work in this recording, but I think you've already seen my resume, but this PowerPoint does package the link. I also included a writing sample, and I focused on the Voluntary Act Doctrine and strict liability laws. Strict liability means you can commit a crime and be guilty of it regardless of your intentions. And things like dog at large in Arizona, if your dog is at large, you are guilty. You don't have a fight. Statutory rape, giving cigarettes or alcohol to a juvenile, all of those things you have no fight. You are done. So this is one of my complaints about the law, and that I believe that everybody should be culpable, at least responsible for their committing of a crime. And when it comes to juveniles, they too will lie, and depending on each independent factor involved, I think that as we say, 15 will get you 20 if you're not careful. I am very interested in continuing to help juveniles learn to be responsible so they don't destroy anyone's lives, especially their own. But anyway, that's my writing sample with, of course, my references. And here's where the future is leading me. It has been 38 years since I first balked at having to take college classes. It's almost taken that much time, along with a lifetime of heartaches, frustrations, roadblocks, and potholes, to discover that my purpose is to help veterans suffering from PTSD-related substance abuse. After evaluating 13 college and university transcripts, as well as receiving 35 credits from my military service, Northern Arizona University will confer upon me a bachelor's degree in applied human behavior interdisciplinary studies in December 2021. I will use all of the places I have been and the valuable education I have gained to manage my nonprofit equine therapy program for veterans and first responders dealing with the traumas of life. Thank you for stopping by, for taking an interest in my history, my goals, and my future. The best is yet to come.